All right. Well, getting back to what I was saying.
Sure.
Again, I don't have any thoughts where Gene Simmons is concerned. I mean, I don't dislike the guy. I don't hate the guy. I think he's a very intelligent business person.
Sure.
I mentioned that to Bob Nalbandian because his name was brought up quite a few times during the documentary as to how he, wanted to manage a lot of these bands that Bob covered in his documentary.
Sure.
And so anyway, even here we are 40 years later, he still makes some waves out there, news-wise.
He certainly did this week.
Yeah. And anyway, apparently Kiss bassist vocalist Gene Simmons stopped by the Huffington Post, which is
that's where all good Kiss fans get their news.
Yeah, because it's such a credible news source.
Mm-hmm.
And veering off the subject here, and I want to get your thoughts on this because this is just something I want you to, comment on because I know what I think. Well, this Ariana Huffington, she started this Huffington Post, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Right.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah, it's been out about 10.
Yeah. So she relied on independent bloggers, people to contribute to this website, Huffington Post. And then she turned around and sold it for X amount of millions of dollars.
Right.
All right. Which obviously probably the lion's share of that went in her pocket.
I'd imagine.
And the people who contributed to the Huffington Post through, its genesis to where it was when she sold it, were pretty pissed off. It's just like, hey, wait a minute. I kind of had a little hand in making the Huffington Post what it is. Where's my taste?
Right.
What's your thoughts?
No contract, no problem.
Okay. So
they should have signed it. They should have signed a deal with her.
Well, I agree with you there.
Yeah, I mean it's simple, dude. I can equate this to something that actually happened in my world, and I saw a lot of people bitch about it. It's on a much smaller scale. But there was a site, it might still be up, I don't even know, but there was a site called Blog Critics, blogcritics.org.
Yeah, I recall seeing that, yes.
And I used to write for that sometimes. And it was like a newspaper. You wrote shit, you submitted it to an editor published it, blah, 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 blah. And it was just a free deal. You liked the show, you went and reviewed it. You liked the record, you wrote it. It was just that kind of a thing. And after doing it for about a year, they sold it for $2 or $3 million.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of people that wrote for it were fucking pissed that they didn't get it.
Yeah, well, I can kind of get it, but from the legal aspect, I agree with you that did you have a contract? Did you voluntarily submit your your material?
Yeah.
Well, if you voluntarily submitted your material to the website and didn't have a contract and you just did it because you enjoyed it and the person who published your material sold the website or the magazine or whatever the media outlet was,
right,
and they made a shitload of money, that's your fault.
Yeah, it's your own fault. And nothing says you got to stay on with the new owner.
That is true, but I think but from a contributor standpoint, even though as ignorant as it is, the truth of the matter is that the people who contributed to your project,
dude, that happens all the time.
I know. I'm not going to argue that. I agree, but I can understand the feeling of, hey, I had some input on this, but I got nothing out of it.
But you know what, dude? Literally, biggest any company, Facebook. When Facebook went public, remember all the people that were bitching that Facebook went public on the back of 500 million subscribers,
right?
And that was what they based their value on.
Sure.
Well, every one of the 5 million subscribers could have easily gone to fucking wherever else.
Right. You're absolutely right.
And they didn't. So companies do that all the time. TV shows make or break on the backs of how many people are watching, but they're not expected to pay the people.
Sure.
movies are considered, bigger failures or whatever based on people, but nobody pays the people pay them.
Right.
So it's the same everywhere. I think I get why the contributors were probably pissed, and probably not so much the lower level dickheads that fucking, wrote a review of something, but probably the guys that were up top.
I just like your analogy, the lower level dickheads.
Well, you know what I'm saying. Guys that
I know the guys who barely submit anything and they just throw in, an occasional blog or something now and again, but then there's core writers who submit stuff every single day.
Right, or people that are featured writers or something. Now, if they got nothing, and their fucking office was right next to Arianna Huffington's, then yeah, they should be pissed.
Sure.
But again, they should have also asked for a contract, you bunch of idiots.
I would agree. But I guess at first, and I'm only speculating here, but I guess at first when people get involved with these organic projects, they think that it's for the common good.
Yeah, sure.
And it ends up being for the good of just one person.
Yeah, well, you know what? And you have to know what you're getting into, too. And I don't think most people ask. Almost nobody asks, hey, is this a for-profit thing or whatever? Right. They just are like, whatever. I'd like to write something. I'd like to get free CDs, so sure. I'll just write.
Sure. And I get it. I get both sides of the coin, believe me. I do. But I do understand the outrage of, say someone who stuck with them for 7 or 8 years and was like we said, a senior contributor to the thing, and thinking it was for a common good for all. And it was, and then one person being Arianna Huffington, she sold the thing and pocketed, $50 million. It's just like, wait a minute. What?
Everybody gets fucked except for one person out of every 1,000 gets fucked in business anyway.
Sure. I get it. I mean, I get both sides. Yeah. But I just wanted your thoughts because I know, you've obviously owned a magazine at one time and still run pitchriff.com, and, people do contribute reviews and things to Pitchriff, and for whatever reason, if Pitchriff were of some kind of monetary value when you sold it to say Rolling Stone or something.
Yeah, believe me, if I sold Pitchriff to Rolling Stone, I wouldn't even send Doghouse a greeting card thanking him. I'll just tell you that now, Doghouse. I wouldn't even thank you for your time.
Right.
I'd just be gone.
Sure.
You'd see me on TV flashing money that should be in your pocket. Here I am spending. I'm going to buy a dog bone that I'm not going to give to Doghouse.
Right.
That's what I'm doing.
Oh, nobody there. All right. So funny. So funny. All right. Well, anyway.
So Gene Simmons
stopped by Huffington Post Live on Monday to chat about the band's new tour and the reality series Fourth and Loud.
Yeah.
Which documents the KISS branded arena football league, the LA KISS.
Yeah.
So the conversation quickly turned to Simmons opining about immigrants today and their reluctance, in his mind, to learn English.
Okay.
Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Well, you just answered my question, you cheap motherfucker.
Wow.
Well, you got your ass handed to you.
Yeah, I did.
Look at Doghouse calling you out.
That's all right.
All right. Well, anyway, asked how he feels, and this is me personally. This is me talking here.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with the way some people phrase a question.
Okay.
In today's society, for the last, I'm going to say that at least the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Everything is about how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that?
Right.
And it's instead of people asking, what are your thoughts on this? How do you feel about it?
Yeah, Yeah, well, that's the politically correct thing. Everything's about feelings. Nothing's about facts.
Well, I've gotten in trouble with people in my circle when I've pointed that out. And I come off or I'm being framed as being this uncaring, just heartless, cold, mean bastard because I have a problem with people having feelings.
Yeah. Well, you know what? How about this? I don't care what you think. I don't care what anybody thinks. Why should I?
Right.
Why should that mean anything to me? You know, that's always my question back to everybody. You should be more considerate. Why should I be more considerate? Explain to me what benefit I get from being more considerate.
Right.
Get none. What I get to do is give you a false answer to what you want. You asked me a question. What do I feel? Guess what I feel? I feel like your question is fucking stupid. That's what I feel. And it gets, dude, it is so tiring the way everybody wants everybody to fucking, everybody fits in a perfect little box and everybody gets treated the same fucking way. Fuck off. Everybody gets treated by how they earn, by what they earn.
Right.
Earn some respect, you get some respect. You earn being called a pussy, you get called a pussy. That's the way it works.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right. So anyway, asked how he feels about the fact that Kiss music has connected with multiple generations. I didn't know that's a feeling.
No.
Simmons replied, in all seriousness, it is a tug of the heart. I am sincerely, how should I say, because I get all choked up.
Okay.
I wasn't born in America. I know I don't look Swiss. And when I came here at 8.5 years old with my mother, I was welcomed by America and its people and given all the advantages of the native-born children. Which is astonishing when you think about it, because in other countries, they would have ground me up and put me in a can of dog food. And in America, I could think what I wanted to think, do as I pleased, and reach for the stars. So there's a guy who, wasn't born here, but he embraced the traditional American ideals.
Okay.
No problem with that.
Nope.
In America, I learned, since I've got a new book coming out, nothing like throwing the shill out there.
That's Gene.
Called, and this is a really good title here, Me Incorporated. Me Inc.
I love that.
Me Inc. You have inferred fiduciary duty. Probably most people don't even know what fiduciary means.
Right. Well, Gene does.
To learn how to speak English. Get rid of your accent. Wow. I did. Be a legal immigrant. I am a legal immigrant. I can't even speak. I am a legal immigrant. Come to this country, just buckle your knees a little bit. Make the effort to learn the culture. Assimilate to the point that you can. You're all proud of who you are, where you come from. Great. Whatever you're proud of, just tip your hat to America, which is the melting pot and which makes it all possible. Agree to one culture that we can all communicate with, and then go off and speak Swahili and Farsi and whatever you want to talk. Pressed by the host, Ricky Camilleri, about the seemingly aggressive tone of his message. There you go. You're being aggressive, man.
What a fag.
You're running over people, man.
Shut up.
The aggressive, the seemingly aggressive tone. Did you get tired of that?
So fucking lame.
Do you remember, and I'm going to bring something up from literally years ago, and you probably might remember this. Mm-hmm. Remember when, excuse me, Remember when Hillary Clinton was running for being a senator in New York State?
Oh, yeah.
I remember she had to debate. I don't remember who the guy she was debating, her rival in the state Senate race.
Okay.
He was quoting something she had said, and he had it on a piece of paper.
Yeah. And
he came over and handed her the paper to show her the proof of what he was talking about. And she went to the press the next day, and she claimed that he, quote unquote, brandished it like a weapon. Do you recall that at all?
Yeah.
He was being really aggressive, and he approached my podium and brandished that piece of paper like a weapon. Like he was going to run her through with it, you know?
It's too bad he didn't.
Seriously. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Well, hail and kill, boys. It's Motorhead again. I've actually got something to say on this immigrant.
Oh,
bullshit.
well, okay. Make it intelligent.
Probably not going to come from me, but we've got at the shop where I work, about 50% of them are Ruthenian.
They're what?
Ruthenian, Serbians, basically. But
Ruthenium?
Yes.
That almost sounds like a metal.
Doesn't it?
It's made out of pure ruthenium.
Yep. Hard as fuck they are. But how Gene was saying about, fucking learn to speak the language. Well, the ones that do learn, they actually do good in this country.
They do.
The ones that don't,
they do well in your country.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead.
English class.
That was awesome, Neely. Thanks.
Thank you. Go ahead.
And so, the ones that fucking want to just sit in the corner and speak their own goddamn language when they move to this country, well, they don't get the raises. They don't get the promotions.
But how do they get the jobs?
Well, Chris, they actually get the fucking jobs before they move here. They can't come without a guaranteed position.
Well, who's guaranteeing a position with somebody that can't even fucking speak?
Well, my fucking dirty boss. Because the ones that are here, hey, can you give my brother a job? He's a welder. Well, they fucking show up because I work in a structural welding shop. Well, these fuckers show up. Well, they're locksmiths and cab drivers. They've never fucking seen a welder in their life.
Okay, so what benefit is it to bring somebody here that doesn't have the skill to fulfill the job? What do they do with them?
Well, we teach them. Because for some stupid reason right now in Saskatchewan, there's a huge lack of guys that can do the shit that I can do.
Well, what about the local people? Are there not people unemployed in that area that could use a skill?
Less than 3%, Neely.
Really?
Less than
3%? God damn it, Chris. I think we should go there.
We got to move. Fuck this place.
Well, it might not be for tech guys, Chris, but, for guys in my trade, it's less than 3%. Way less.
Well, I could probably find work.
Absolutely.
Well, what is the overall unemployment, in that area?
3.8.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. The housing is fucking less than zero. To get a place here, it's a wait period, boys. Hence, Motorhead's living in the motorhome.
Nice.
Sounds like you're convincing Neely to fucking pack up tomorrow.
I'm thinking I'm going to sell the CMS Palace here and head up north. Even though I'm not fond of the cold, it might be worth checking it out.
Well, there's a huge boom here right now, Neely, and it's been going on 14 years.
Well, what's the boom?
Well, there's oil, there's construction. It's nuts. Like, I'm in the construction field, right? And son of a bitch, we're always behind.
Neeley,
and when I started, say there was 5 guys at my shop. Well, there's like 40 guys now. We got 2 cranes, we got road crew, we got, guys in the shop.
Well, what kind of money are we talking here?
Well, probably not your kind of money.
Well, what kind of money are we talking here?
Well, I'm making 70, 80 grand a year. And I'm not working that hard. And then there's, of course, my farm, because I'm dual income. But, 70, 80 grand here is good. It might not be there, but...
Well, it sounds like good money to me.
It's livable.
Around town here, if you're not making $30 an hour, there's something wrong.
Holy shit, dude.
Neely's out.
I'm out
Show's
of there.
over. Neely's driving tonight.
I'm on my way there.
Hey, did you go to Saskatoon, Neely?
Did I go to Saskatoon?
Right.
No, I haven't been there.
Oh, well, you were saying you were gonna, and I was...
Neely, for motorhome, fire up the home and meet him at the border.
Right.
There in about 4 hours.
I'll just sneak across.
Yeah. Well,
I
could get you a job tomorrow, Neely, but I'm sure you wouldn't be satisfied with it.
How do you know?
Trust me. Trust me when I tell you this. The show will be infinitely better the minute he gets a new job.
Right. You don't have any Indians there, and I'm talking about the not the good kind.
Yeah, we have tons of Indians here.
No. I'm not talking Native Americans or Native Indians. I'm talking about Indians. You know what I mean?
He's talking about Korean fucks.
That's part of the deal with the housing, is we're having huge amounts of immigrants. And to the point, and I'm in a hick town, while now the fucking instant tellers have 4 languages, like Japanese, fucking Canadian, Indian. It's nuts. It's like my boss said.
So what are these people doing for jobs?
Wow, Chris, I'm telling you, there's just tons here. If you're not working,
I get that. But what are these immigrants doing for jobs? Are they just coming in and getting into construction?
No, most of the immigrants, which is hard to believe, are buying businesses. Okay. Most of them.
Right.
Lots of corner stores. It's all Chinese and Korean. Lots of, the fucking, like my boss said, we're now a metropolis. The Packies have bought the cabs now.
Nice.
So you're becoming a melting pot over there.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of nice, because when I was in high school, there was one black family in the whole city. Well, now there's
sounds perfect.
That sounds like utopia.
Well, kind of. And here's the cool part about it. The one black family developed an NFL player.
Who was the family?
Mays. Chris Mays. He played for, what was that city that down in the States there that drowned a few years ago?
New Orleans?
Right. The Saints.
He played for the Saints.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, the local football field's named after him, because, of course, he's the only nigger that ever did anything here.
God damn.
It's a little racist.
Jeez.
No, not at all.
This is a family
sister's
show.
Actually on the Canadian bobsled team. Every one of their family is like a fucking pro athlete.
Okay.
So we actually like them, even if they are niggers.
Jeez. This is a family show there, Motorhome. What's wrong with you?
At least they like them, even though they are.
Yeah. And you know what his nickname was in high school, don't you? Arsenio.
Arsenio.
Holy shit. God,
I enjoyed that.
his real name was Chris, but you guys called him Arsenio.
I never did because I felt sorry for him.
That's damn.
We learned.
Pardon me, boys.
You need to turn the oxygen up on your tank there, motorhome.
Well, I shut it off because I'm smoking right now.
Yeah, I can tell. Well, thanks for the input. I might have to, become a Canadian citizen.
Well, it's not as bad as you think, Neeley.
I didn't say it was bad. I've been to Canada.
Trust me, depending on this election, you might have a lot of fucking company.
Well, what's going on down there in the political region?
It's horrible, dude.
It's real bad.
Go ahead.
I just need me a nice, curvy, newfie girl, just hang out with.
Neeley, you can probably understand her when she's typing. But if you were talking to her face to face, you have a fucking clue as to what she's saying.
What? Who needs to talk to her?
True enough.
If you saw the pictures of her, there's no words needed.
Well,
none.
This might be true. This might be true.
All right, motor.
Okay,
home.
boys.
Anything else?
All
right.
Well, no, not really. Other than fucking Tom's still sick.
I wasn't aware he wasn't well.
Oh, he's been sick, boys. Fuck, it's hilarious because he's on holidays and he's just down and out.
Caught the HIV, huh?
Yeah, but he'll beat it. He's beat it before. He'll beat it again. That goddamn HIV.
All right, motor.
All you got to do is pour a little turpentine on your tank.
Sure.
Jesus.
Wow.
HIV is gone. And he'll use herpes up, too. Okay, take care. Hail and kill. Fuck you, pal. Good job.
Jeez. Turpentine. Takes away the HIV.
Who the fuck is pouring turpentine on their dick?
Well, apparently Tom is, because that's what Motorhead says.
And that's a brutal thought.
Wow.
All right, so Gene Simmons.
Yeah, Gene Simmons. That was a good story, though. $30 an hour.
Dude, you're out, aren't you?
Just people just wandering in, don't even have any skills, and they're making that kind of money.
And you might be able to get away from Curry.
Right.
That'd be good.
Exactly. All right, let's see here. Where were we at? Pressed by Ricky Calamari about the seemingly aggressive tone of his message, Simmons said, "I'm actually saying the thing that needs to be said."
That's right.
Because the politically correct climate is bullshit.
Yes.
It's about time. The politically correct climate dictates that you don't want to upset anybody by saying learn to speak goddamn English. So as an immigrant, I'm telling you, learn to speak goddamn English. It is the key that will unlock the keys to the kingdom.
Right.
If you make the effort, then all the possibilities of this culture will open up for you and give you all the rewards that I've gotten. I mean, I wasn't born here, and America has enabled me to be a team owner in LA Kiss, to have reality shows and to be in a rock band and to have licensing and merchandising deals and a restaurant chain. What chain does he own?
Kiss Cafe?
I don't know. Is it?
I think so.
Okay. We're financing films now. You can't imagine the width and the breadth of it all.
Okay.
Well, I agree with everything he said. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
See, Gene Simmons is so fluent in English that he actually says things like, "Well, it's the key that will unlock the keys to the kingdom."
Right.
Courtesy of the Department of Redundancy Department.
Sure.
It's like one of those. It's like one of those things that a stupid athlete will say in the locker room interview afterward, and people will make fun of him. The key that unlocks the keys to the kingdom.
Right.
Well, whether he's being redundant or not, he's also being correct.
Okay, that's a separate point. But to me, I think his comments about immigrants. That's one thing, but I think the bigger pile of shit that he stepped in this past week, is the one that he actually had to apologize for, which is basically telling people who suffered depression to basically kill themselves.
Okay.
Well, we'll get to that here in a little bit.
Because I've got comments on that.
Because we're going to talk about that as well.
Okay.
All right.
Then I'll save my comment for that when you get to it.
Okay. Hail and kill.
Fuck you, pal.
All right. So anyway. So he's like, I wasn't born here, and everything that, because I learned to assimilate, it's enabled me to, do a lot of things.
Sure.
I have no problem with that.
I have no problem with any of this.
I have not either. But, but the fact is, and this is the reason I like this statement. Gene Simmons, like him or not,
yeah,
he still is a high-profile figure in media.
Sure.
Whether you like him or not. I mean, he's correct. Kiss, 40-plus years, regardless if it's fuck there or not, Jackal.
Right.
They're still selling out arenas and big venues. He's had that Simmons, what is that, Family Jewels?
Family Jewels, yeah.
That did well. Bought that LA sports team, getting all kinds of coverage for that. So regardless if he's, 60-plus years old and been around 40-plus years and, controversial, at least he's somebody of stature who's actually stepping up to the plate and saying, you know what, you need to do this. And the politically correct environment we live in these days is just complete bullshit.
Right.
And I don't care if you're offended.
Yeah, and that's great.
And I think that needs to be said by more. I mean, we ran into somewhat of a controversy this week. Well, actually, just only yesterday.
Yeah.
We actually asked Snake Sabo of Skid Row what he thinks about all the apologies and the politically correct environment that we live in. And, he basically said the same thing. It's just bullshit. It's just like, it's ridiculous. And one of the reasons I asked Snake that question is because Skid Row, their reputation as a young early band was that they didn't follow the rules, as it were.
Right. Sure.
They came off as being a renegade band and youth gone wild and just crazy. We don't give a shit what the politically correct, the button down types believe in. We're breaking all the rules, as it were.
Right.
So people believe those things, but until they'll actually step up to the plate and speak out, it's always going to be I'm gonna use something that we used a few weeks ago with the whole Judas Priest discussion. It'll always be the sword of Damocles hanging over our heads.
All right.
It's true.
I know.
Well, I'm going to give you a personal thing that happened in my office this week.
Okay. This isn't going to cause you a problem, is it?
No, not at all.
All right.
One of the administrative girls in our office, she's always touting herself as being somewhat of a, anti politically correct, conservative. She absolutely hates this administration, and why does this go on and why does that go on, and so on and so forth. Right. But yet in her own vernacular speech, she was saying, well, I was at a family reunion and my cousin he's gay.
Oh, easy.
But that's how she'd said it,
Right.
And then she would say, well, there was a couple of guys, they were my neighbors and they're black. and I go, see what you're doing? Yeah. You're doing the exact same thing. You're allowing these words or descriptions or whatever to control your speech.
Right.
I said, because did you ever notice every time you bring up a certain subject, you lower your voice or you whisper it? You know, and she just kind of like looked at me and thought about it. And she goes, you know what? You're absolutely right. But how many people do that? We were out at the store and there were a couple of black people. You ever notice that?
Yeah, a lot of people do it.
Yeah, they do it all the time. And, we went to some show, blah, 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 and there were a couple of gay guys there.
Oh, my God.
You know, so people, us as a public, allow this stuff to control us.
Yep.
Instead of just stepping up and say, hey, there was a couple of black guys over there. Whatever.
Shh. Neeley, please.
Yeah, well, I'm not picking out black people, but I'm
Neeley.
What?
Black guys.
Yeah, exactly.
On,
but
man.
I don't fall into that. I don't do that.
I hear you.
Yeah, I know. But this is what Gene is saying here.
I agree with Gene. I agree with this fully.
I do too. Well, anyway, he goes on. He says, where are we at here? Because dress British, think Yiddish. If you make the effort, when in Rome, do as the Romans. The rewards are multiple times more. So he's just basically saying, if you're going to live in a country, you need to assimilate with what people do there.
No problem there.
I don't have any problem with that either. When Calamari argued that it may be difficult for some immigrants to learn to speak English correctly because they moved to America when they're in their 40s or their 50s, Simmons said, of course it's difficult, but why should it be easy? Why should it?
Yeah.
Then work at menial labor the way my mother did. Who still speaks with a very thick accent to make it possible for the next generation to go to proper schools and learn the culture and the language. I speak 5 languages. Learn to speak a language correctly. It's not easy. By the way, you don't have to. Yeah. Hail and Kill, caller. You're on the air.
Well, Hail and Kill, boys.
It's Motorhome again. What's going on, Motorhome?
Right, Motorhome. So... who wants to hear why Tom really hasn't been on the show in 2 weeks?
Are you going to reveal something that maybe you'll get in trouble with?
Yeah, he's pretty pissed because I just phoned him and said, I'm fucking telling. He's had a heart attack.
He had a heart attack?
Fuck yeah.
Well, is this something you should be revealing?
Well, he doesn't think so, but fuck it. Tom's had a heart attack.
Well, why are you telling us this?
Because I hate to say it, but it's hilarious. The guy smokes 15 packs of cigarettes a day and drinks.
Wait a minute. I thought you guys were friends.
Absolutely. But he's all right now, so I can point and laugh.
Wow. Wow.
Starting to like this Saskatchewan. You guys got it in order.
You know, at first, I was worried. Then the doctor said he's going to be fine. So you stick your finger out and laugh.
God damn.
Like it. It's a good attitude, Motorhome. Don't change.
Wow. I mean, fuck. Everybody says, when are you going to retire, Motorhome? When I die on the floor of a heart attack. At the shop. I'll do it at the shop so the boys get a day off. But... other than that, fuck it, right?
Right. With you.
All right. So, I think you've rendered me speechless there, Motorhome. Seriously.
Well, he might be back next week. What's next Saturday? The date, I mean.
The 23rd.
Yeah. Tom will probably be back next week.
Well, tell him from me that, you know, he should be here this week, and I hope his fucking heart hurts. I'll just play your game.
I'm sure it does, because I give him a heart massage. As soon as they said he was fine, I punched him in the chest.
Did they split him open?
No.
Oh.
No, but they give him a
stent?
a fucking, a stent.
Yeah, put a stent in there.
They didn't even cut him open. That's like that's like gas.
Well, this is true, but you should see the fucking... They got him wearing these stupid leotards. And it's both like their compression socks right up to his crotch that look like fucking pantyhose.
Did he have a blood clot in his leg?
No, he had a heart attack. But they gave him these fucking stupid, weird compression socks after.
It helps the blood circulation.
All right.
Wow.
And it's funny, because, well, I guess it's not, but it is, because he's alive. But to see him fucking walking through the fucking hospital ward with his little gown on and these leotards.
Lederhosen.
Yeah. Tom was wearing lederhosen and fucking singing all sorts of German songs.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But anyway, so make sure you make fun of him next time he calls in. Tom had a heart attack. Lederhosen.
All right.
Hail and kill.
Hail and kill. Wow.
Right?
Just point and laugh.
That's just a heart attack. Tease that fucker.
Yeah, ha, ha, ha. You had a heart attack.
Died.
You had a heart attack. You're gay. Okay. Well, anyway, getting back to Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
When Calamari argued that it may be difficult for some immigrants to speak English, he said, why should it be easy? How about this? If Apple's voice-driven personal assistant Siri can't understand you, you're in trouble.
Like that? He said that?
He said that.
That's great.
And I happen to know from personal experience some people that I'm associated with that Siri can't understand them. And that's the truth.
So funny.
He continued, the more you learn to speak English and the more you know about American history, the more of an advantage you'll have in this culture. There's no other way. Well, I don't want to learn about that. I'm proud only of Israel culture, and I only want to speak Hebrew. You're allowed to do that, but you won't get the keys to the kingdom. That's life.
Yeah.
It's important to say that because nobody has the balls to do it.
Right.
So as somebody who wasn't born here, I can damn well say all that and feel righteous about it because nobody tells immigrants who come to America, look, do yourselves a favor. Stop watching predominantly your native culture television. More than not, learn to speak English and learn the people skills.
Yeah.
And I happen to know somebody who actually tunes into native television.
So do I, actually.
Mm-hmm. So, again, what are you doing here? If you don't want to be a part of this culture, what are you doing here?
Just want the money.
They just want to rake the cash and then go back home with it.
Yeah, they want the money. That's it.
That's it. So anyway, so I applaud Gene Simmons. I have no problem with anything he said there. None.
Either. Nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
He's absolutely right.
Look at Motorhome. Tom is such a fag. Wow. Wow. Well, Tom, if you're listening to the show, unlike Motorhome, I have, empathy for you. I don't, if this was self-inflicted, I'm a little disappointed in you, but I wish you fast recovery.
Yeah, I mean, it's terrible what's happened to Tom. I mean, what do you think? What do you think it is from him?
Well, he said that he smokes like 6 or 8 packs of cigarettes a day. That's what Motorhome said.
That's a lot of smoke.
And he drinks like a fish. So you drink and you smoke, it's going to catch up with you.
Yeah, I guess so.
So, well, got to knock that shit off.
It's the creepy laugh.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Push the wrong button.
Right. So anyway, well, Tom, get better.
Yeah, Tom. Seriously.
Yeah, and knock off the smokes and the drink. I'm sorry. I know that's probably one of your most favorite pastimes in the world, aside from banging random chicks.
Yeah, get some exercise. Beat Motorhome's ass for calling that in.
Sure. Hail and kill, caller. You're on the air.
Don't worry. Tom will be back in a few weeks with all sorts of tall tales about how many nurses he fucked in the hospital.
Well, you're probably right about that.
Don't tell me you actually believe his yarns.
Oh, I find them very entertaining. That's all I can tell you.
I find them they're entertaining, but I view them as being more suited to the fiction section of the bookstore.
Sure.
Well, everything Tom has said on this show to this point has been true. We do speak to the real Jeff Tate, and he is the real Jeff Tate. Neeley has fucked Susan. And
That's
Jeff Tate has
enough.
fucked his daughter Miranda.
Right.
That's
I
all factual.
I can say for a fact the real Jeff Tate has indeed fucked the real Susan.
There you go. See?
Because they're both me.
There you go. I believe it all. It's all true on the Classic Metal Show.
Sure.
All right, then. Possibly the house band of the Classic Metal Show should become Tall Stories.
Sounds good.
Get on with this bullshit.
Right. All right. I'm going to play a song. I'm going to grab a drink, and we'll come back and finish with the second half of Gene Simmons.
All right, what are you going to play?
Unholy.
All right, that'll work.
All right. So here's some Gene Simmons with Unholy exclusively here
On your Classic Metal Show.